to my channel. I know it's been a minute. It's actually been a month, but a lot of stuff has been going on in my personal life and my family's life, and it's just been a lot. So I decided to take a little break, but I'm back today, and I just have a story that's actually been something I've wanted to film for a while. Kind of one of the stories and reasons why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, just because it really affected me, and I don't know if someone else has felt this way, like my situation wise, because I think it's very rare. But I do want to talk about it, and hopefully people can understand a little bit about my history and also why I am the way I am. If you didn't see, I bought a slider, just a short little memo, but it is the coolest thing. Like, so it's a laser. If it'll focus, but it uses like a, what's the word, an electric current, or like it says plasma, like when you buy it, but it is the coolest freaking thing ever, and it lights candles, and Trenton has been trying to zap me with it, so that's always fun. But so I'm just gonna start off with my story. Okay, so this is my bullied story. Is that even how it should be said? My bullied story. I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I did go through depression and not suicidal thoughts. I mean, suicide is just a big issue, and I don't really want to go too much on it, especially with this topic, because I mean, I was so young. But I mean, if you're ever bullied or in the situation along the lines that I've been under, it gets better. It really does. 100%, it always gets better. But so it started when I was in 5th grade, which that's stupid to be bullied at 5th grade. Most people get bullied like in high school, or like whatever, get slammed in lockers, or which I don't even think really happens, honestly, but the movies make it out to seem so much worse. But I was in 5th grade, so what are you in 5th grade? 10, 11, 12? And like my school, it was kindergarten through 6th grade, and then middle school was 7th through 9th, and then high school was 10th through 12th. It's changed now, but that's how it was when I was going. So I was still in elementary school, which is kind of absolutely absurd that this happened, but whatever. So, I don't even know how it got started, but I ended up like having a crush on this kid that I went to school with, and he had a girlfriend, which, again, we're so young, but whatever. So, word got around that I thought he was cute or whatever, and then like shit hit the fan. And story short, like the girl that he was dating's mom was a teacher at my school, and I'm not gonna name the school or name the teacher or name the students or name anything, just because privacy reasons and I don't want to get sued. But so like her mom was a teacher, and she was the teacher of that like group. So I mean, okay. And so word got around, her mom heard about it, whatever, and so she just immediately thought like, I'm coming for blood and I'm gonna steal him, which I'm in 5th grade, okay? Like, that's absurd to even think that. So it was kind of like this drama thing, and it wasn't too bad. I wasn't in her class, I was in a different teacher's class, but like you like kind of, like when you're in that thing, like you go to assemblies with the 6th graders or the 5th graders, you have recess and stuff with them, like you're just with that group and with those teachers that obviously are there to watch you. So I'm not gonna go into so much detail on it, just a few like stories here and there, and then eventually like what happened. So I remember it was like every day, like I was scared to go to school. And my mom, the hardest part of it all was my mom didn't believe me, and she didn't believe me because she didn't think that it was like it wasn't true. It was the fact that it was so ridiculous, and a 5th grader saying this, like what in their right mind would this be true? So I ended up like getting harassed and getting like, not necessarily teased, like it was straight up harassment, being called a whore and a slut and just like all these things that fifth graders shouldn't even be saying. And to be in Utah, let alone, like it's so Mormon based, like kids, especially grown up that way, they should not be saying those things. I'm not Mormon. I don't have any disrespect against those that are, or whatever, do your thing. This is just where I'm born. This is where I've been raised. So I don't really care, but again, Mormons saying this to me where it's against their religion, I think is kind of bullshit, honestly, but whatever. They thought they were being cool and it was a gang and they just wanted to get me. So yeah, every day they would call me a whore, call me a slut. And the worst part of it all is I rode the same bus. So this is like a story, part of the story with this. So I remember it was after school. At this point, I think I may have gone into 6th grade. Like this was a 2-year period of 5th and 6th grade. So this story may have happened in 6th grade. I was on the bus and I was riding it, and I used to like be terrified. Like, and again, at this time, it's been going on for a year and a half and my mom still didn't believe me. Like, and I would come home and just sleep. Like immediately I'd go to my room and just sleep. I was so depressed. And she didn't know why. She just thought I was so tired from school. And it really did take a toll on me. So I was on the bus and I would run there and try and sit up front as much as possible because I didn't want them to like attack me. And so I remember like as soon as the bell rang, like I was running, like I was gonna go to that bus and try and get front row just so the bus driver was there, so he like wouldn't allow anything to happen to me. That specific day I didn't get there in time, so I was like kind of in the middle of the bus, and they always had like the back rows. So I remember sitting there, and the entire time they were like saying, "You're a whore, you're a slut." They were throwing things at me. And also keep in mind, the guy that I thought was cute and had a crush on, him and his friends were doing this because he was still dating the girl, and her mom basically was like kind of not persuading them to bully me, but kind of like amped it up so it made it worse. Like she didn't say that it was wrong, I guess. So again, the guy I thought was cute was harassing me with his friends, and they lived near me, like literally right down the street. And so it was just like this huge thing. And so we're on the bus and I was sitting in the middle like the entire time. They were just like saying that. No one ever stopped them. No one ever said anything. And that day I like got up. It was my stop. I got off before them and I went to go out the door, and one of them stood up and screamed, you're a whore," like loud, like back of the bus to the front, like everyone heard, and threw something. And I just like got a gut, like sickening feeling, and I just immediately ran off the bus. Like the bus driver heard, okay, and he was like an older gentleman, like he was probably close to retiring, like he was probably in his 50s, and he heard, and he, like, I don't know what happened after. I booked it off the bus. I ran home crying. I got inside. I didn't even say hi to my mom or anything. And I ran down the stairs and I went straight to my room. And then, sorry, I'm getting emotional. It definitely still has a toll on me. But, so I was downstairs in my room, and, the bus driver ended up coming back to my house. So he dropped everyone else off, and then he came in, knocked on my door, and told my mom what had just happened. And she's like, "Phoebe, get up here now, like we need to talk." So I went outside with her and the bus driver, and he said like, yeah, they've been harassing her for weeks, months, years now. I mean, he didn't specify how long, but he mentioned that he knew something was going on, and he just wanted my mom to be aware of who it was. And she finally it clicked in her head, like, wow, my daughter is being harassed, like this isn't just like a game or a joke, like it's the truth. And so she found out who said that, and she immediately got in the car with my sister and drove down to their house because she knew where he lived for some reason. I don't know why. And banged on his mom's door, told her everything that he did to me. And I think he ended up getting grounded and his mom like wouldn't allow him to be with that group anymore. I don't really know what else happened with that, but that was like the gist of that story. And then I'm just like trying to think, like there was just so much. So this is like another part of it. So every day, like I'm going to school, getting harassed by these kids, getting harassed just by like faculty of the school, and it was just rough. So I ended up, once my mom finally like got the tip from the bus driver that this was happening, and like from the other mom that she understood like where I was coming from, and like she noticed something was off. And so I ended up going to parent-teacher conference, and the teacher like still worked there, the students were still there, everything was still there, and we were, I remember this so vividly because I was like petrified. So we were walking in through like the main entrance of the school, like where the office is right there, and I remember I was with my mom, and I think my I was with my mom and my little brother, because he started going to the school at the same time, and I think he was in like first grade or kindergarten. Excuse me. And we were walking into the school, and I remember like seeing this teacher, and like I like saw her like coming at me, and I like instantly like froze. Like I was like, and I like grabbed my mom, like her arm, and I like pulled so close, and I was like, Mom, that's her. Like, Mom, like, do you understand? And she like walked by and gave me the nastiest look I've ever seen. Like I can't even recreate it because it was so nasty. And like in that moment, my mom saw her look at me that way, and she was like, oh, hell no. Like, you're not going to make my daughter feel this terrified. Like, I was literally shaking because I just didn't know what she was going to do. So I ended up going to my parent-teacher conference, and I was talking to my teacher with my mom, and the teacher was like, do you have any questions for me? Like, once it was coming to an end. And my mom was like, yeah, what is this deal with my daughter and blank teacher? And my teacher just kind of like looked at her, and she goes, well, she's definitely made it known how she feels about your daughter. And my mom's like, what do you mean she's made it known, like how she feels about my daughter? Like, she's a 30-year-old woman. My daughter is 12. Like, what do you mean she's made it known? And she goes, well, like in the teacher break room or whatever, she goes, she's definitely like made comments and made it known how she feels about your daughter. And my mom's like, why has no one notified me of this? Like, Phoebe's been telling me, and I haven't believed her because it seems so silly and so absurd that a teacher would be harassing a 12-year-old. So my teacher kind of like spilled it out, and imagine me too, like it wasn't like them just talking, like I was sitting right there listening to exactly like what she thought about me. And I was just in awe, like it's honestly the stupidest and most absurd thing I've ever heard, if you really think about it. But it was true. Like, I remember being just so depressed, but it was rough. So after the conference, my mom was like, that's it, like, we're gonna go talk to the principal. Like, Phoebe, you can take Phoenix outside, go play in the playground, and I'll come back, and once I'm done talking to her. And the principal kind of was best friends with the teacher that was harassing me, so, which is why she made it known to not call my mom to notify her what's been going on. And it was kind of this long just fight, honestly. Like, I remember them like getting a case, and the teacher would like call my mom and like leave messages of like she wasn't aware of what was going on and all this stuff. And they like had like a court meeting, and they like sat around, and my mom was playing these voice messages saying, well, you're clarifying that she doesn't know of the abuse and doesn't know what's going on, but yet she's calling me and apologizing, and it just didn't make sense. So it was just this huge thing, and eventually, obviously it was my last year there. So I think she got demoted to like a younger grade. And then I think she actually ended up being the librarian, because it wasn't just me that she did these things. There was a few other ones that she like harassed students and stuff. I think mine was the more severe case. But yeah, that's my bullied story. Now I mean, I've talked to her daughter and like we're fine. I don't have any hatred or anything towards her mom or her family or even the boys that I went to school with. I mean, I went to school with them from second to high school. Like I graduated with that class and I've known them. Honestly, one of my good friends dated the guy that I thought was cute. Like it's fine now. Being that young and dealing with that was honestly bullshit, and I wish it never happened because what 12-year-old is a whore and a slut and to be harassed every day like that? And I don't know if it's because they thought I was cute too or if she really just influenced it. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there in the conversations. I wasn't aware. I was the target. So, yeah, that's my bullied story, and hopefully never happens again to anyone because it was honestly the worst 2 years of my life, but I'm doing better now, so that's all that matters. So, hope you appreciate this video, and I promise you I will be making more videos in the future. It's been crazy in my life lately. A lot of shit has hit the fan, and I'm just trying to, like, get accustomed to all the changes, and so bear with me. There will be more videos coming up, but I just wanted to do this video because I feel like I've been, like, dragging it out, and I really just wanted to tell my story. So I'll see you guys next time.